Friday 1 p.m, it must be time for the Smartphone Video Show. I'm Colin Kelly, this is Emma Baker. Hi Emma.
Hi Colin, good to hear you. You're sounding very buoyant this afternoon.
And do you know why?
No, I don't know why. Please tell me.
Let me tell you why. Because somewhere in Sweden, a klaxon has probably just gone off. Abba have just hit 1 million followers on TikTok.
Wow. Well done to Abba.
Well done to Abba. They've only been on TikTok for a couple of days. They've only done 5 or 6 posts. Last night I looked, they had just short of 750,000 followers. It's now just hit 1 million in the last couple of minutes.
Fantastic.
And I saw one of the posts. It was a very good, obviously a bit of smartphone video from Abba, behind the scenes, a studio tour. I tell you, if they've had that studio for the last 40 years and have hardly used it, what a waste. It looks absolutely amazing.
I need to see that.
It looks amazing. It looks amazing. So they've got the new album. And have you heard what they're doing for the tour?
I've just seen snippets, like with them wearing those kind of suits that you see Andy Serkis wearing whenever he's making a film. You know, when they do all the CGI around you if you're going to be a monster instead of a human being.
Well, that's what they're doing. It's not going to be a hologram tour. It's an avatar tour. And they've been de-aged. So when you go and see the virtual Abba in front of you, they're going to look like they're in their late 20s, early 30s peak.
Right, okay. Well, having watched The Irishman and been, I don't know, kind of half and half convinced about Al Pacino and Robert De Niro being de-aged, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but maybe Abba up on the stage at a distance is going to be different. It
all comes down to the songs, really, doesn't it? Yeah. And I haven't heard any of the new stuff, the new songs yet, but it's getting very good reviews. People very happy to see Abba back. And I was wondering, you know, with the concert experience that they're planning, what do you think about like smartphones at concerts? I know it's been a while since you were at a gig, but do you think phones should stay at home, or do you think it's part of the experience?
I haven't thought about it much before you posed that question. For me personally, well, to be honest, unless you're right up at the front in the concert, you're going to get dreadful images from your phone because your lens isn't good enough. Although you might have a telephoto lens that will get you a bit closer, but it's not going to look great and it's going to sound pretty awful.
Yeah, well, YouTube's full of it, isn't it? YouTube's full of audio from concerts, and the bass just
it's completely
right
pointless.
Over it, doesn't it?
And you should live in the moment. There's a strong case for, well, not leave it at home, but leave it in your pocket and just enjoy the actual concert. And but was there not something a while ago where you could you like scan something on your phone, and if you were recording the concert footage on your phone, you would get the audio feed from the desk.
This is new technology that they've just started. I don't know how widely used it is, but it exists and it's on offer. I don't know if any artists have signed up to actually allow it to be used yet. But that was the idea, that you'd go to the gig, and if you do take some footage, it will replace your soundtrack with a live feed from the mixing desk.
That would be, I mean, you're still not going to get a brilliant image, but in terms of the artists kind of spreading the word about their concert and having that kind of organic user-generated content, that would be good. And if somebody's close enough to the front, it's going to look pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Well, we're here today to talk about smartphone video on a budget, and we will talk about a variety of budgets, and we're going to talk about different equipment that might be a good shout for you. But I suppose when you talk about on a budget, most people assume zero budget. So that's maybe a good place to start, Emma. If let's say I was the window cleaner, right? And I say, look, we need to market ourselves. We need to get into smartphone video, but we've got, not only have we no budget, our hands are full because you're carrying the ladders and I'm carrying the sponge and the squeegee. So we've got minimal kit. What could we do for no budget, and we don't want to be lugging a lot of stuff around? What would your recommendations be?
Well, there's a few things that I would recommend, and funnily enough, I was on TikTok last night scrolling through the live feed, and there were a couple of builders, they were doing plastering, and they'd just been live. I just caught the tail end of the feed, and it seemed all they had was some kind of tripod. It was down very low, so I'm imagining it's a tabletop tripod, one of those holders you could pick up. The one I've got, I don't know if you can see it in the picture behind the iGadgets one, is tiny and it's like £6.
Is this the thing that the yellow phone's on? That one there. Yeah.
That's £6. Although looking at Amazon at the moment, I can't find them anymore. They've got a £15 one, but they don't have the £6 one anymore. But £15 for some kind of little tabletop tripod just to hold your tripod steady. And then they just went live, and it was one of those, I caught the tail end of it, and I saw all the comments, and people were saying, oh, it's so satisfying to watch, oh, I need my walls plastered. And you know that when they spread it all out smoothly across
it's
the wall.
hypnotic, isn't it? It's quite hypnotic. Pleasant.
Yeah.
Now, what my mind's gone blank. Yes, what I was going to say is very, very clever, actually. What they're doing is doing their marketing while they're working.
Yeah.
Because most people, they hate it, right? They hate having to stop what they're doing. Oh, God, now I need to do the marketing. I'm Scottish. I'd rather hide my light under a bushel. I hate putting myself out there. So the way around all of that is just let us see what you're doing when you're at work. And it sounds like that's what these guys were doing.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. And obviously, you're not going to do a live stream of the whole process of working. But if you think about any bits of your job that look visually interesting, and are going to be a satisfying watch, then setting up a small tripod and just letting that unfold. You could do Q&A if you wanted, but I don't think they had. I think they just said, we're just going to plaster this wall. Have a look. Here we are. We're available. Here's our location. And
so clever way to do it. You
don't have to go away and edit. There's other things I could speak about, as in no budget smartphone video production, but that always takes a little bit of time in terms of editing and putting together. And the beauty of live video is you're doing it as you work, like you say.
Well, and this is the other thing I think that surprises a lot of people. And we're very lucky, Emma, because for the last sort of 5 or 6 years, we've worked with so many clients in so many different sectors. And the thing that always strikes me is that many of them don't understand what makes them interesting. So when you say to that builder, look, just give me a couple of minutes of you plastering, they're like, what? That's boring. But actually, to someone that doesn't do it every day, it can be actually quite interesting and stimulating.
Yeah, absolutely. And just peeling back the curtain a little bit and giving people a chance to see you at work, show off your skill set, show off your commitment to work. We've all had difficulty getting tradespeople to come and do jobs in our house where you're always looking and you just see a name and you worry, are they any good? Are they a fly-by-night? Yeah. So if I see you regularly and see your skill level, then the trust is built. So
that's right. It's a great way to build up trust, and also so it shows your competence, it shows your trust, and I will decide that I like you. So great thing to do. Now, Emma, you mentioned a particular tripod, so let's pop on to the Comsteria store on our website, where you've put together this list of all this equipment, so people can come along and just click the link and then buy it on Amazon. If you do go through our button, then we make a small affiliate commission, so you don't need to do that. Just type the name into Amazon and you'll find it. But comsteria.co.uk/store, it's all there in the one place. There's a whole selection called tripods and gimbals, and the iGadget 2-in-1 pistol grip. That's the one you're talking about,
That's
isn't
the one
it?
I'm talking about. When I bought them, £6 or £7, and they periodically seem to go out of stock and then they jump back on. I bought them for when I was doing lots of face-to-face training. Another smartphone video trainer recommended them because they were so accessible in terms of the budget, so I could buy loads. And I had people on the day using just that, and the microphone, which I'll talk about later, and their phones, making like full case study interview videos. I always brought tripods, actual full-size tripods with me, but people were just like, oh no, we'll just take that, because it's so much easier. You don't have to faff around with the setup and getting everything right. And if you're working in a group, if there's at least 2 of you and you have to go and interview somebody, one person standing with that in a nice firm grip, with your legs apart to give yourself stability, you can hold the camera really steady while the second person stands beside you and asks the questions. It's really good. And then what it's good for is if you then go and shoot all your B-roll footage.
So B-roll's all the cutaways.
All the cutaway footage. So if you've interviewed somebody, people would the courses just go out into the street. So you've gone and interviewed somebody at a market stall, and then they're talking about all the food that's on sale. So the cutaway or B-roll footage would be you taking individual shots and sequences of all the activity that they're talking about, so you can go and show the viewers what's being discussed in the interview. And this little handheld grip was ideal for that as well, because you could get around people so quickly, and you only really need 3 seconds worth of footage. You maybe film somebody for 10 seconds from each angle, but you only use 3 seconds. So
grab it from the shelf behind you and show us how it works. Now, while you're doing that, it's so the one we're talking about is not available right now on Amazon. But keep an eye on it. It seems to be suggesting alternatives. There's a Manfrotto one and is it the Joby brand? Is that what it's
I always say Joby to be on the safe side, because there's not a double B there. All these. I'd say if you can't get. The price range now seems to be from about £15 and up that I can see. And so on our store, the one right beside the iGadgets is the Manfrotto. Yeah. And I would go for that.
$15.99 Manfrotto. There it's there. We're looking at a close-up of it now,
Manfrotto are an absolute, the go-to make for tripods and camera photography.
And does this
equipment.
work with, just to be clear, does this work with, you see there's quite a discount on it just now as well.
Yeah.
Does this work with DSLR cameras and phones, or do you need a different product?
I believe, I don't know if you've clicked on the link, you'll be able to tell me. It's certainly one of the Manfrottos does work, or with mirrorless cameras. You can see the Joby there.
This one seems to just be for cameras.
Sorry. It works with mirrorless. I wouldn't trust.
Oh no, it says smartphones as well.
Of course.
It says compatible devices, smartphones and cameras.
Yes, sorry. So they will all work with a smartphone, because what your limiting factor is the weight of the equipment, the camera you're putting on top of it. So they all have this same little screw on the top that's all the same fitting. And so if you've got a phone holder, or it comes with the phone holder, it just screws onto the top. But your mirrorless camera or your SLR camera has the same fitting on the bottom as well.
Right, so that Manfrotto one looks like a really good one. Good discount on it as well.
It's very sturdy, and it'll work with a small camera as well. And it's the same idea that you can fold it up. It's slightly different ergonomics, but you fold it up, and you, like I say, when I was doing the B-roll footage, you're able just to get a better grip on your camera, rather than being handheld where you might accidentally cover the lens and your hand's going to be shaking. You can get a much firmer grip and just film somebody for 10 seconds at a time.
It's a lot less intrusive as well. You know, if you're going up to someone to try and film them, you don't want to have to stop what you're doing, erect a tripod, line it all up. You know, you can just, it's the way like a Nick Broomfield documentary almost. You can get right up, amongst it.
You're just emulating that. I mean, when I make videos for clients with a camera rather than a smartphone, I've got my tripod for the interviews, because you do want stability for that. And then for some shots, I'll use the tripod. But if I'm at an event, I would rather have a rig where I can, even just a handle on the top of my camera, or a full rig where you can get around really quickly and film all these different angles, film all these sequences.
So £16, you've got a tripod, £16 for a pistol grip style tripod. Right, what about the microphone then?
So the microphone, if we're talking about an absolute budget, you don't need a microphone, in that there's so many videos that you could make without having to speak, as we've just discussed with the plasterer. Even if you're not, because
we would always say if you are speaking, you do need a microphone.
Definitely.
If you're speaking live.
If you're speaking live, or as a presenter, or you're interviewing somebody, you need a microphone, because the camera is going to be set up at least arm's length away from you. Therefore, the on-camera microphone isn't really going to do the job for you, because it's going to be distant, echoey. In some situations, it's fine. I was just doing the TikTok and Reels training yesterday, and obviously a lot of people on TikTok and Reels will make videos without microphones, but by and large, the good creators, if they're speaking on camera, they've got a clip-on mic. Yeah. But there's so many styles of videos. You could just make a video, back to your builder, your plasterer, where you just film a few little kind of highlights from the day, behind the scenes. This is what we did, the before and the after, and then edit it quickly together in TikTok or Reels or in a different app, and add a quick voiceover to it. And if you're doing a voiceover, you don't need the clip-on microphone, because you can hold the phone microphone.
So you would record that after, once you've got your images stuck together that you've filmed during the day. You come home that evening and you then do a bit of narration. Here's what we did today, and then add that into your video.
Yeah, just a wee explainer. This is what we did. First we had to do this. This was the problem. This is how we solved it. Doesn't that look brilliant? See you tomorrow for another video. dead informal, and you wouldn't need any equipment for that because you could just record it on your phone.
Okay, now if you were out in the field and you said, no, actually, I'm on a budget, but I do want to speak live, so I do need this lavalier microphone, what would be the sort of cheapest, best option we could go for?
Cheapest and best is on our page again, is the Boya BY-M1 lav mic.
Right, let me see how quickly I can find it. Right, so it's going to be under smartphone microphones.
Right at the top of our page.
Boya BY-M1 clip-on lav mic, £14.13. Is it available? Yes! And it has a 66 pence discount.
Get in quick.
So this is going to work for, it says here, clip-on microphone for DSLR camera and smartphones.
Yeah, the Boya microphone, if you see in the image, I don't know if people can see the image if you're showing them that, but there's a little unit in the middle, like a cylinder, and that you can flick a switch on that.
Oh, yes,
and it changes it. So if you're using it with a phone, you flick it one way.
Brilliant.
If you're using it with a camera, it's the other way, because it's just clever. A slightly different connection.
And we can see the little plastic, or it might be metal actually, that clips on to your shirt or whatever
it's a metal clip, that one will be, and then a little kind of hood, a little cover for it, the pop shield, isn't it? That's what it's called.
Now, may I ask, Emma, because in these enlightened times that we live in, so these lavalier microphones, that clip is designed, I think, for a man's shirt. Is it not?
Yes.
Is it? So where would you clip it on right now? Do you just clip it onto your collar?
I would clip it just here. Right. Ideally, you want it in the middle. Mm-hmm. That's where you're going to kind of pick up the best sound, but maybe clip it a bit to the side if someone's wearing a jacket. You want to find it, put it somewhere firm. If you're really, really meticulous about your sound, then there's all sorts of clips and tapes and things that you can use to put it, to hide it out of the way, put it under a shirt to stop it moving around or rustling. But since we're talking about smartphone video on a budget, I would just be clipping it on. You can change the way it's mounted. I'm not sure about the Boya, but in some of them you can change which way round the clip.
Yeah, you can. I think you can with
that.
You
can
can
take it off. The clips are removable.
Yes.
And if they break, you can buy replacement ones, because mine always used to break doing training.
Yeah, that's the thing I've found with these. It's £14-15. It is a good piece of kit. The quality of the microphone I thought was excellent.
Yeah.
But I did find, because we've used these and we still use them, I found the construction of the whole thing rather flimsy.
Yeah, you mean specifically in the Boya, or all these kind of smartphones?
All of these kind of things, yeah. Which is fine. I mean, it's £15 maybe last year or something. That's what I think.
It depends how you're using it. If you're sitting in your office making videos for your business on your phone, then it's going to last you for a long time, because you'll take care of it. If, like me, you were taking it, I was using the iRig lav mics, which are a bit more expensive, but people were taking them on and off and interviewing folks, and they were getting broken. But the microphones themselves lasted a long time. I just had a little bag of replacement clips.
That's right. The clips clip on, so you can turn them around and change them. Yeah. They were rather flimsy.
They're flimsy, but the microphones are excellent.
Yeah, robust. I agree.
The Boya mic at £15 is a great deal, and the sound quality is very similar to the iRig one or the Rode, but it's kind of a bit more plasticky in the wire, and it gets a bit tangled up. But
Emma, I am, as usual, I am confused, right? Because we're looking now. The viewers at home are seeing the iRig lavalier microphone.
Yes,
£73. Moments ago, we're looking at the Boya one, $15. So
what's the difference?
What's the difference, and what would you do?
Well, first thing, if you go all the way to the left, there's another iRig one there that's £37.
Oh,
so that's the single iRig one.
Oh, there it's there.
Yeah, that's the single one. Mm-hmm. And the £73 is you get two of them together, and you can join them together. There's a little unit on that one that lets you join both microphones together, so you can have two voices on mic at the same time if you were interviewing someone, or if you were going live.
You'd just buy another one, but again,
it comes in the pack of two, the £73 one.
Yes, but the 37 one, it's still quite a jump, isn't it? Even 15 to 37.
They've both actually gone up in price. I've been saying recently, that they're about £65 for the double pack, but it's obviously just jumped up. It's still a jump. It's a better build. You get a nice case with it, a hard case that protects it. So if you're going to be going out and about with it, it's probably going to last longer than the Boya, where you just get a soft little bag. it's a nicer feel to the materials that it's made of. It doesn't get tangled up so easily.
Right.
And it's got that little unit that lets you.
So what you're saying is, number one, the one that's £73, you get 2 in the pack, and it's not a rip-off.
Yeah.
But you're also saying the one that's £15, yes, it's a little flimsy. The build quality is not as good, but that one is not entirely cheap and nasty. It can still do a good job.
Yeah, I wouldn't be put off. I think you might be inclined to see that and go, oh, it must be rubbish if it's £15. But the actual audio quality you'll get is absolutely fine. It's very similar to the more expensive ones.
Well, that's why we're here. That's why we do these programs, to try and answer these questions and to test these things out. And if you want to hear the sound quality from some of these, then keep an eye on the Comsteria YouTube channel, because Emma is regularly making content, and she'll demo things and let you see them up close and try them all out. And she'll be comparing all these different products, and you can see what ones that you like the best. So comsteria.co.uk/store. If you've got any smartphone video questions, we're still here for another 10 minutes or so today. So get them through the live chat. We'll do our best to answer them. And remember, you can catch up with any of our previous programs, comsteria.co.uk/live, or just visit the YouTube channel and you'll see it all there. Emma, you've mentioned a couple of times this course that you were running yesterday, the Instagram Reels and TikTok training, a 2-hour live webinar. First run yesterday, and it went so well we've already added another date.
Yes, we have indeed. Yeah, it was really, really good fun, really enjoyable. And I would say the participants all went away kind of buzzing with ideas and wanting to implement a strategy around these platforms, for their own communications. And
it's back on again on the 28th of October. There's a slight on our graphic, I think we got the time wrong. We've said 8 p.m. till 10 p.m, but it's not. It's 10 till 12 in the morning, isn't it? Don't worry about that. So 10 till 12, but 28th of October. But you'll get all the details at comsteria.co.uk/events. Because, Emma, we were talking, it's people, I think, get quite negative around Facebook and Twitter. Whereas I actually think Instagram is a much more positive space. True. And TikTok too. Actually, TikTok doesn't have so much, from what I've seen, of the hatred and the bullying. It's just people doing fun, interesting things, and you're figuring out ways that businesses can use it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think one reason there's not so much bullying is partly it was a new platform and it was fun and fresh and creative. As it's grown, people are posting a broad range of content, and it could be more controversial. But I think because creators are able to express themselves, now you've got 3 minutes in a video. So if you are taking on a controversial issue, or even just an issue that could be perceived as controversial, you've got time to explain it and have a dialogue. And then if somebody disagrees with you, they can duet with your video or stitch your video to give their response and almost have a debate with you. Whereas Twitter and the comment section on Facebook, it doesn't lend itself to that kind of nuanced kind of exchange of ideas.
It doesn't. So yeah, we find TikTok a really positive space, and it's great to see businesses, engineering companies and the like, that historically might have thought it wasn't for them, getting on board and getting good results. Yeah, Emma, we have a question. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
We've got a question from Katrina, and then we'll come back to your point. Katrina says, I'm hoping to film from more than one Android phone at once. Do you have any advice for editing? Is there an easy way to get the footage together from the different phones?
Yes, you would bring the separate footage into a video editor.
So how?
What do you mean how?
Well,
just
so
the same way you would bring any footage in?
If I record a bit on my phone, and then you record a bit on your phone, and then you're going to edit it all, what do we actually do?
Oh, I see. Actually, to transfer it from one phone to another.
Yeah.
I would use any kind of cloud-based transfer system, a WeTransfer or something along those lines. A Dropbox. Get a shared folder on there and exchange the files and get it all onto the one phone or onto your desktop if that's where you're going to edit, and bring it all into your project together. So
we use WeTransfer. So I do all the recording on my phone, upload it to WeTransfer, send it to you. You then download it, so it's now all on your phone, and then it's going to appear in your video editing library, and you can start putting it all together.
Yeah. I wondered as well, though, if Katrina meant not just those practicalities, but that she said, I'm going to be filming on 2 Android phones at the same time. Is that to get 2 different angles of the same thing, like you're filming a concert or an interview, and rather than having just one shot, you want 2 shots?
Yeah.
If that is what you're asking, I'll try and answer that, because I've done that before. If you're doing an interview, for example, it can be nice to have a wide shot of the interview and then a close-up shot of the interview, and you can cut between them. And the things to make sure to make that easy for you to sync up is when you start the interview is to have a visual sign and an audio sign that you're about to begin. So get the person on camera to clap like a clapperboard.
You've got your clapperboard.
You could use a clapperboard if you wanted, but just a simple clap will do, so that when you bring it into the editor, and especially if you're on a desktop, or a good editor on a smartphone will do this as well, you'll see the sound wave, so you'll see the sudden spike, and you'll be able to, and you'll also see visually the action of the person clapping, and you'll be able to sync those 2 up, so that the interview the audio and visuals will all run at the same time, and you can just cut between the 2 shots.
Yeah, it is. She's doing more than one angle. Thank you, Katrina, and thank you for watching. So she's doing more than one angle. So the WeTransfer gets it off of one phone onto the editing person's phone, and then your last explanation there is for syncing it up. So that means that when she starts editing it, they're both going to be in the same place at the same time, and you can just chop and change depending on what bit you want to use. And
and especially working with 2 phones, but in any kind of filming, if you're presenting to camera as well, I use the clapping thing quite a lot, because if I'm presenting, I make quite a lot of mistakes, or I'll have my video kind of in my head chopped up into different sections, and so if when I get to the end of one section, or I've made a mistake, if I put a clap in there, it's really easy for me then to realise, all of the stuff before that was a mistake. This is the bit I want to be at, and I can regularly sync it up as well if I'm working with 2 different cameras.
Stuart Little's watching. Hi, Stuart. Good afternoon. He suggests there's an app called Double Take. He says it's a multicam solution on one device. Is Double Take worth using, Emma? And what kind of price are we talking?
I don't know. I've heard of it, but I've never really looked into it. I've seen stuff like that. Well, I've certainly seen apps where you can do a full kind of live mix. You've got a mixing desk basically on your phone, so you can have 2 cameras or 3 cameras at the same time, and somebody might be doing a live presentation and demonstration of something, and rather than having to stop and start and film all the different angles, you can cut between them. But I've never used these apps or
well, the good news is that the Double Take app is only $1.99. The other good news is it's made by Filmic Pro, who you know well.
Yeah,
because you've been on all their stuff and used all their products. I know that you know them very well. The bad news is it's only available for iPhone and iPad.
Yeah.
And was Katrina Android, did she say?
Yes, she did.
So sorry, Android Katrina. Phones. There might be an equivalent, something like that lets you do kind of live editing. But thank you very much, Stuart. That's a great shout. The Double Take app by Filmic Pro. Right, Emma, listen, we've got a few minutes left, and keep the questions coming. If there's anything else somebody wants to talk about, we will work it in. We've got time, don't worry. But the one that we've not mentioned for smartphone video on a budget is the dreaded lighting.
Yeah. That always trips people up, and my best advice for people starting up is don't get hung up on it. It depends on the type of video you're making, but certainly if you're going out and you're interviewing people for case studies or something for your business, or you're at an event, just try and use natural light. Try and get them outside, maybe get them into a nice room with a big window, because often the lighting can just kind of trip you up and slow down the process, and you get caught up with reflections, or the shadows are really harsh. But
yeah, so if they're really genuinely, if there's no budget and you're not interested, do it outside.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
If you had a little bit of budget and a little bit of interest, is there something that you could suggest for us?
There's a few things, and everyone in training now is saying, what about a ring light? Should I get a ring light? And in terms of what's on our website, that's, from what I've found at the moment, that's pretty much the cheapest option for a single light setup. One reason it's cheap is because with a ring light, you only do need one light. That's the whole point in it. that it sits in front of you, but because of the shape of it, it casts a nice soft diffuse light spread across your face. Where if you had a rectangular panel light, it would be, coming in straight on your face and
so on our website, on the comsteria.co.uk/store, which people will see in a second, it's the newer ring light. It's called £31, I think, is it?
Yes. If you're looking for budget smartphone video equipment, that brand Newer are really pretty reliable. They are budget, so not everything's fantastic, but they're a good starting point.
This looks like the one I'm using right now.
Yeah, except we bought yours. That one's on a stand. It's probably similar. I don't think that one was Newer. I can't remember what brand that was, but it came... I could show the viewers at home the difference the light makes by turning it off. Watch this. Nice one. It's not a dramatic difference, but it makes it consistent at least, which is good. So a simple ring light like that makes a difference. And if you've got ring light's brilliant if you're doing videos where you're wanting to maybe share your expertise and you're always in the same location, have it set up like that, and present to camera. That's what your Instagrammers use all the time. It's not really the ideal solution for going out and interviewing people if you're in a communications team and you want to interview people, because it's meant to be set up right directly in front of the person's face. For interviews, I would suggest using a panel light. Okay, this is the Young Neo? Young Neo? Yeah, I'd recommend that one. I know I've put in the Newer in there as well, the kind of dimmable one, the 2-pack, but they're decent and you get two together. But I prefer, as a brand, these Young Neo lights, and that's £48. That's jumped up in price as well. I think they were $35 or something when I bought them. Yeah. Right. This looks good. But they're nice. I've got one. Well, I've got the small one and the big one here. And do they come with the stands? No, they don't. Right. That's why you would have to buy a separate stand if you were going to be using it. They come with these. The small one comes with a little tabletop stand, which is kind of next to useless, because your light needs to be to the side of you and above you, not sitting on a table down below you. And the big one comes with this little handle. So I guess the idea there is if you're working in a team, somebody would stand and hold the light. But ideally, I would be buying just a light stand. Yeah. And that's why the Newer 2-pack there gives you the stand along with it. But I've got reliable information that the stands that come with that, the £56 kind of pack, are really not very good at all. But you're still getting two lights for £56, which is a good deal. Yeah. Okay. So get the lights and then shop around and see what you can get with a stand. Yeah, but I like the Young Neo. They give a nicer light than the Newer lights. You get a much softer, more diffused light to them. Well, listen, we're just about out of time. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching us this week. We'll be back again next Friday at the same time, 1 p.m, and you can visit our website, ask us anything, connect on social media, and we'll help you out whenever we can. But before we go, Emma, you ran Instagram Reels and TikTok training yesterday. We're running it again, 28th of October. I have a Introduction to Live Streaming webinar coming up next week. There's still spaces available for that. And some PR training as well. If you want some help getting your business noticed into newspapers and on radio and television, which is my background, I worked in broadcasting for about 15 years. So helping your business get noticed, a bit of, I guess, PR on a budget as well. That's all available at comsteria.co.uk/events. And that Instagram Reels and TikTok course, which Emma's running on the 28th of October. It's actually 10 a.m. till 12 noon. We'll need to update the timing on that. But it'd be great to see you. And if there's anyone else that you're working with that you think needs some help with all of this, then do let them know and pass it on. Thank you very much for watching. Emma, any quick thoughts for the weekend? Roll on. The weekend is all I can say. Hopefully the weather lasts for an extra 2 days, but I think it's about to break. But looking forward to it. We can't complain. We've done quite well, I think, generally speaking, with the weather. So listen, thank you.